Greetings, Hacksters! Welcome to another day of chaos. It's me, Alex Club from Hackster.io, and our special guest, David Groom from Make. Hello, David.
Hello.
How's it going?
Uh, Pretty good. I am glad it's Friday, and I'm glad to be ending the week with a fun stream with you.
I'm so excited. Our last one with the Pi Pico 2 was really chaotic. Today should be, less chaotic because we're both very, very familiar with soldering irons, and we have a really cool one to check out today, which is this iFixit. Not just the iron, but the whole power station, and there's a portable kit that it can come with as well. But before we get into that, would you like to share any announcements from Make?
Sure. I'm working on the dev board annual issue right now, the 2025 guide to dev boards. I have a plastic tub about the size of a small bathtub full of dev boards. I have an Excel spreadsheet with over 100 different boards that I'm working on reviewing and pitting against each other in terms of specs and usability and documentation and all these different characteristics in order to put together a guide across several different categories, such as best basic board, best educational board, best boards for AI, best boards for home automation, and things like that. And as well as these sort of best boards overall, which are the ones that typically end up on the cover. And that's typically about a dozen or so boards that end up there. And just trying to establish what themes and things are emerging for this year. A big one is obviously RP2350, which factors into our previous stream. And so I've been playing especially with a lot of those new boards from the various manufacturers, since they all managed to launch right at the same time, which is a really cool thing to see. But anyway, that's what I've been.
Yeah, the 2350 being the chip that powers the Pi Pico 2 that we were talking about last time. And just to show people, you have an article about this new FixHub portable soldering station that we're going to be diving into today, including your unboxing experience, and something that you already did some repairs on. I'm really excited to use this for repairs, but I didn't bring any of those today. I decided to go easy with some a thing I'm going to assemble. And then we've also got I was at this pre-launch event on Sunday at Maker Nexus in Sunnyvale, really cool makerspace, and I got a couple of videos from there, including Bret Hart very bravely. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see in the video him using it in a sort of holster situation because of this incredibly insulating cap that it has. So we're going to go through the stuff that we got in these boxes, you and I, and we're also going to go through the basic features of the device, and then we're going to get to hacking and just see what happens.
Yeah, I reserved a couple of boards that I wanted to use because I knew it was coming, and then it came, and then I had some boards, some specific things I wanted to try that, and I saw Darcy's board in the little thumbnails there, and that's actually one of the ones I've been saving to use with this iron.
Oh yeah, the EMF Explorer badge.
With regards to the holster thing, I mean, they call it a smart soldering iron, and part of that is because it has an accelerometer in it, so it can tell when it's like sitting here and not being used, and it can also tell when it's been dropped, so it actually shuts itself off so it doesn't burn you, hopefully. So the holster thing is a little less, it's really cool. It's a demonstration of some cool technology rather than that brave of a move. If everything's working,
yeah, I still like, you gotta have some aim to get it right in the place, but like, yeah. Another cool part about that is that it has this thermally insulating cap. So they really think of it as like a Sharpie that you can have the battery pack over here and put the pen down over there, as you see Brett do in one of the videos. And also this cap is what attaches to the main base, battery base, that becomes the holder, and you can put it on either side, so depending on your handedness, it makes that really easy for you. I haven't actually turned mine on yet. I've only charged it up, but you've already been through the unboxing experience. But let's look at a couple more things first. We've got this this little switch where you can turn it on and off, even independent of the battery, which is kind of cool. There's that insulating cap. You've got a thermal ring, an indicator ring that will turn different colors to show you if it's... Yeah, we got the lock-in ring on the USB cable, which is apparently because, those tend to get yanked out. I've been hip checking my existing desktop soldering iron for a while. It's a pain in the butt. I hate it. But if I did that to this one, I wouldn't have to worry about like destroying the connector on here. But beyond that, this thing has an 8-hour battery life at 100 watts. It's ludicrous. So like for all your soldering anywhere, not only like out in the world with like in a tent, in a car, on a boat, on your like fixing your bike, but for me, like my desk is horrible chaos, and having one fewer cable, like I could have this charging in a bay like under my desk or off to the side most of the time, and then when I want to use it, I've got 8 hours of battery that I can just like put it on the desk somewhere convenient, and I don't have to worry about routing another piece of wire somewhere, and I'm so excited about that.
Here's proof that I've been using mine. I'm already down to 81%. I had fully charged before I used it.
Wow. And
yeah. It's not just a small soldering iron. It's not just a handheld, lightweight soldering iron. It really is designed for mobile use, because things like the magnetic cap and stuff like that make it so you can just put it in there, put it in your backpack, and leave, as opposed to like, is it hot? Oh wait, I can see it's not hot. It's blue. It's got the cap in. I'm ready to go. Like, they put so much thought into it. I love it.
And even when it is hot, like the cap like insulates it. He's putting that in his pocket right after soldering something. It's ludicrous. Oh yeah, someone needs to make a belt holster for it. Absolutely. I was inspired with that word because they actually referred to the cap as a holster at some point. But the definitely need like a belt holster for it, absolutely. And it is super sleek for sure. There was another thing. Oh yeah, it gets hot in 5 seconds. Yeah. Like, what? You can see it happen in one of the videos on our channel. This first one that's like a little bit longer, like has some really quality ASMR, as well as he's like rolling the tool rollout. Would you like to, I know I've been talking a lot, would you like to walk us through the different options that we have here?
Sure. I'm not sure I was prepared for that, but the overall it's called the FixHub, which is sort of like clearly an expandable series. I think there's this big battery, and then I think there's a soldering iron for it right now. You can actually plug 2 soldering irons into and at the same time, and the firmware will handle that, which is really interesting. So you can go buddy system on it, or Edward solder hands, or whatever.
Double fisting with the solder. A hand and a foot, maybe.
Yeah. So clearly they have other plans. They have other things that they intend to make with it. But right now there's there's the smart iron, which you don't have to have their battery for. You can just plug this into your laptop. I've tried it with my laptop. And also, if you plug it into your laptop, you can use a web-based tool to do the same things that the battery does. So you can adjust the temperature, and you can also update the firmware, which, by the way, if you haven't done it yet, Alex, I recommend you update the firmware at least on the battery, because if you have 1.00 on yours, I think you're going to want to do 1.0.1, because I noticed that the 1.0 firmware, it doesn't update the battery percentage properly. So update that when you get a chance.
I will do that.
So there's the smart iron, which is available by itself and works great without having to have the base station. The things that I've seen people mention online is that some of the competitors have a built-in screen so you can make adjustments on it. But I plug mine into my laptop as both a power supply and an adjustment tool, and it worked great. You can't do it with a phone yet because the technology isn't there in terms of web USB, but I'm sure that that's coming to Chrome and other Chromium-based browsers soon. So you'll be able to just plug it into your phone, hopefully, to make adjustments. And then
that's a good point. I actually asked them, like, is there a way to do it offline? Like, is there going to be a desktop tool? And the answer is no, not yet anyway. They haven't been thinking about like a terminal option. But I guess right now you do still have to use Chrome or another, like you said, web USB enabled browser. So I'm going to have to wait on that. But it sounds like maybe the firmware upgrade is just like battery stuff, not essential.
Yeah, you don't have to have it.
Cool.
Funny you mentioned terminal option, though, because I saw on the Hackaday review, they discovered that it does have a CLI. So you can, first of all, it was just weird for me to be like, I'm upgrading the firmware on my soldering iron was a bit strange. And then like I'm changing the settings on my soldering iron on my laptop was a bit strange. But apparently it's got a CLI that you can run commands on your soldering iron from your laptop, which is really kind of mind-blowing.
That's what I was wondering about. They said no.
So check out the Hackaday. I don't think it's documented or anything. I think they kind of discovered it by looking at the serial.
Yeah.
So if you keep scrolling until you see something that looks like a CLI, keep going.
Yeah, there's this,
You're almost
that.
at
Oh,
the-
check that out! Oh my
almost
God, they've got ASCII in
the
there.
suite
Of
ASCII,
course.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to dive into that stuff yet. I was mostly focused on the
Ooh.
physical nature of soldering rather than the software. But oh, that's interesting. That last picture you showed there, because maybe we should explain that you're going to demonstrate, using it as a soldering iron. And because I'm in the studio here, I didn't know if I should be waving a hot iron around. So I thought that while you're doing that, I'm going to start taking mine apart and see what happens. But real quick, I talked about the iron a bunch. I didn't really talk about the base station, which is a big fat battery, but it's also a lot more than that. It has its own firmware, so there's all kinds of things that it will be able to do in future. Right now, obviously, it's compatible with the soldering iron. And I can't remember what the exact milliamp hour of the battery is, but it provides 100 watts for 8 hours. So
It says 1500 or 5200 milliamp hours.
it feels like way more than that. Okay.
It's so
Really?
beefy. They said 8 hours.
Okay.
So
Because I have 10,000 milliamp hours that are like a little skinny flask size one. So yeah. I think off axis, I just want to reiterate that point, is I also love iFixit. Like I'm excited
same.
about there's other companies that make USB-C, soldering irons, and they're cool. But like I'm excited about the iFixit one because their stuff is always super quality. And also I know that if I spend money on this stuff, I'm supporting their whole right to repair effort as a whole, which I love. So anyway,
And that includes like, oh my gosh, I met I forget her name because I'm bad about it, but I met their director of sustainability, who's also leading their efforts in the like legislation areas with right to repair stuff, which I think is an amazing thing for them to be doing as well. They're like tools, working with companies to make things more repairable, working with companies to make tools and replacement parts available, working with legislators to make it all more accessible for everyone. I just love that. There's a couple things I wanted to tack on to what you said before about, like, for example, the software. So that is currently the only way to update. There's like set temperature profiles, and again, you can't you don't have a little dial on the screen for that, but their philosophy is that you're not going to need to update it that often. So typically you'll be working with the same types of solder, the same types of materials, and you won't need to update it that much. That is like something I'm a little wobbly on, but I can see that they probably had to make trade-offs there. And I just wanted to give us the pricing right now, real quick. So I got a lot of questions about that. The iron alone is $79.95 USD. So people have been like saying like, oh my God, $200, like $250. The portable soldering station is $250. This guy. And then the portable toolkit is $50 more, so $299.95. And that comes with a whole bunch of extra stuff that, again, we go into in a couple of these in this first short video here, but including like a little tiny silicone insulating mat and like some of these other tools we're going to take a look at in a second, and some clippers and some really cool self-vulcanizing like silicone tape. Actually, I'm not totally sure it's technically self-vulcanizing, but it does the same thing. And battery type, why did I say that? Oh yeah, we'll get to that later. But anyway, those are the prices. So like $80 for the soldering iron alone. You can adjust it directly from your computer. $250 for the station, and $300 for the entire portable toolkit, which if you don't already have, you may already have a bunch of iFixit tools, in which case you probably don't need it. But there is some really cool extra little stuff in there. Anything else you'd like to look to tack on there, or shall we dig into the other stuff we got in the box?
I mean, the two things I want to say is that the toolkit is basically like a repair business in a box, almost. Like you can $300 investment in your future. And the other thing I was going to say is, as far as the temperature adjustment, prior to this, I had a Hako in which the power supply I had mounted inside, I'd hacked into a tackle box, and that was my portable solution. And so my tackle box sits under my workbench, and my iron sits on top of my workbench. And I can tell you how many times I've reached under there to adjust the temperature, because it's like the one time I tried unleaded solder for a second, maybe, and then
True, yeah.
shortly after reported. So other than that, I don't think I really changed my temperature hardly ever. So it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah, same. I always use lead-free, but I'm almost always on the. In fact, it's irritating for me that I more frequently accidentally jog the temperature than I actually want to change it. So that's a good point. Also, it's worth noting that not only is this an amazing soldering iron, which I asked Brett a ton of questions about, like, are you into notebooks and or fountain pens, because I was like, the amount of detail that they went into with this is the exact type of nerdery that overlaps with those types of nerdery. I'm like, the thought that went into all of this with the magnetic insulating cap, like, it is magnetic too, this tiny little brass coil, and not only are you getting all that, but you're also getting this huge beefy battery, which, like, that alone, like, adds a ton of value. So that you can get the iron on its own, and it's like $80 on its own. And then when you look at the higher prices, that is including that giant beefy battery, which someone asks up here. Someone asked if they can power their laptop off of it. I'm pretty sure that you can. Like,
absolutely, that's 100
yeah,
watts. Yeah, you could
it's
power
100 watts. You're gonna have no problem.
Like my laptop power supply I'm plugged into right now is 65 watts, so you could easily power your laptop.
Oh yeah,
No problem.
yeah. And there is a specific anchor charger that they were using to, like, demonstrate that it can run off of a wall wart as well. And I'll try and dump that in the description later. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the main thing is you want a GAN charger so it'll charge as fast as possible.
Yeah. Be sure to drop your questions in the chat, by the way. This is a free-form chaos session. We do have about half an hour left, but I think that's plenty of time to, like, oh yeah, let's jump in.
You go ahead and start soldering. I just wanted to announce that I'm going to start taking this thing to pieces and see what happens.
Cool. I'm gonna take us through real quick the other stuff that was associated with this for me. One thing that I thought was really cool. So this is the box that it came in. I sort of tore all the filler out and threw everything in here. It also came with. This was outside of the kit, actually. There were some extras, including, like, some lead-free solder and a little portable tube guy. Love those. Always need more. Little get started guides in English and French. I'm going to be taking my first steps with the iron, so David will probably have to tell me what I'm doing stupidly. We got some flux, no clean flux, very nice, and some also, like, iFixit branded solder wick. I think these are both we both got these in like goodie bag stuff. Also booklets in French. Also, there's this cool poster.
What's the poster?
Oh yeah. This was in the kit with the portable soldering station. It is a soldering quick start guide. Check that out. Just like oh, that's the wrong side. That's the poster. Okay, yeah. On one side, it is a soldering quick start guide with all this, like, cool stuff about, like, how to keep your stuff clean and, like, how to get started, and all on the other side it's like a poster. They are great with their posters. They also have these, like, giant stickers that are like the repair manifesto, so you get one of those in the soldering kit. This is a really cool little thing, soldering splint. So this is basically like portable third hand. I am a huge fan of the OmniFixo. Love this thing. But also, it's got a bunch of magnets on it. It's a little bit heavy. This thing is tiny. It can hold both, like, 2 wires in a splice configuration, and it's made of, like, a heat-resistant silicone type material, and it's magnetic. I saw this, and I was immediately like, I gotta see if I can stick that on my, on my computer stand, and I could, and I was so excited about that. So it can hold. Oh yeah, it can hold both some wires in, like, a splice, and it can also hold boards if you, like, wiggle them down in there. We did an actual, like, they did an LED throwy kit example, which I'm throwing all over the floor right now. But at the little event, it was like a little Spark Fun flashlight kit, which was super cute. Yeah. Oh, I should put my name on there. It's got a little spot for it. But anyway, you can just, like, wiggle that down into there if you want, and, like, stand up the board to work on, and it's magnetic. So if you're doing, like, hotel hacks, yeah, check that out. So you're pulling the battery out right now. There was they do have guides up for doing these repairs, day one, and there was we asked them about the batteries. They considered having them all be individual 18650s, so you could swap them out individually, but they decided to opt for a pack of them because that way, it's better when you manufacture them all. You have like a matched set. It's better for the battery life, the efficiency, all that good stuff. So that was a choice that they made there, and that's partly, that's why we all love iFixit, because they put so much thought into this stuff. So, when is the release date for the tools? Good to see you, Tariq. It will be available.
October
I think
15th.
October 15th. Yeah, there we go. Pre-orders available immediately, and they will ship on October 15th if you pre-order now. I found my link for the wall adapter. I'll drop that in my tabs here. And also, so on October 15th as well, they will be selling additional solder tips as well as spare parts. So that includes a full list of tips. It comes with a chisel, not a chisel tip, like a hoof tip. What do you call that? Chisel tip? Anyway, the full list of tips will include a cone, a bevel, 1.5, wedge 1.5, a point. I'm very excited about that for repair, especially. Bevel 2.6, knife 2.5, knife 1.4. I'm assuming those are millimeters measurements. Yeah, I almost pulled out my last remaining what do you call them? Challenge, SMD challenge soldering kit coin thing, but I'm not gonna do that without like a point tip. So it comes with a fairly like large, not like large, but it's got one of these guys on it. It's like angled. Is this a chisel? This is not a chisel tip. This is like a hoof tip, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the. I'm not
Bevel
sure what
tip, wedge tip. Someday I'll learn.
Yeah.
It's not just a cone though. It's got a slant on it.
Yeah.
Bevel maybe.
It's good. It's what you want from most stuff is what I would call it.
Oh yeah. Off Axis says I want the dry erase mat. Very cool idea. So that is another thing that we got in our boxes. Let me pull that out.
I'm using it right now. Hey, let's see how good the magnets are. Oh look, the magnets are great because I got my screws on here.
So good. It comes with its own little magnetic dry erase marker too. So you got this and it's shaped like a carpenter's pencil. You can't sharpen it with a box cutter, alas, but it is cool looking. And this whole thing is designed to look like a blueprint design, which I think is neat. And it's got these little, wells at the top for parts. Are those magnetic too? I'm gonna assume so. Do you have data?
Seems like it.
Seems like there's bolts around here.
Just the blue part is magnetic.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm not getting any magnetic reaction in the top wells there, but the mat as a whole is magnetic. Super cool. And dry erase. Oh look! Mat features ESD safe, magnetic, pro tip. What does it say? You can fix it and you're not alone. Find step-by-step guides, parts, tools, and community forums at iFixit.com. They've also got a cute little guide to screw identification. Sorry, let me get that. And then, a lot of these tips are actually ones that come. Oh yeah, a lot of these tips are ones that come in the Minnow screwdriver set, which you showed before. One other really cool thing about the. Where did it go? Do you have the? Do you have the thing? Oh, here it is. So the packaging that this came in. Well, okay.
Surprise.
All right. Well, then it's a surprise, but you can see when you get it, there will be a card that tells you there's a secret. There's another cool aspect about this though, which I'll tell you the backstory on, David, and maybe after people get theirs. On October 15th, actually, I have another short video I want to release, and so I'll share the secret then, because then everyone will be like, "Oh no," because it'll still be a secret because that's when it ships. We'll just have to do another one of these later on, and we'll talk about it. Cool. So anyway, how are you going with the dissection there, disassembly?
Pretty good. But were you going to share the story, or are you holding off on the story until?
The story is related to the surprise.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's a really cool story, though. Cool story, bro. Don't tell it yet. Ugh! Killing me. Killing me.
Repair is noble inside the battery.
Oh yeah.
Whoops, was that an Easter egg? Sorry.
No, that's chill. They also on the bottom of they have that all over the place, like on the bottom of this this guy too, and on all their spudgers. Oh, I love the way the PCB looks. Oh wait, can you show the other side of the PCB?
Not yet. The other piece.
Oh, okay. We'll get to
Battery
that
right
in a second
now.
then.
Look at that.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Cool. Well, I'm gonna bust out my things and start trying to solder these headers on. We've got about a half hour left. Nice job,
Okay.
us. Oh, one more thing before I jump into that, because there are a million things to look at. I got really excited about this other thing. So at this pre-launch event thingy, they showed us also. They had these cool like iFixit t-shirts that had like a planet design, and they gave us a patch that matches. Check this out.
Oh, I
Doesn't
love.
this remind you of? So our friend Mohib has this organization called Asan, the what is it? Alternative Space something network. Anyway, they've got patches that are like very similar color schemes, and honestly, Hackster has some like blue and white ones as well, of course. But like, you know, very similar. But I just love how well these match, and someday I'm gonna have to make a jacket or something with all these patches on it. Okay, we're getting there. Finally, there's there's one more thing that was there. And this is a very sensory, enjoyable thing. They have this clamp, which is for opening up, like taking the screen off of a device, for example. So they had this point about how, no, there was a thing someone was 3D printing that went with this, but it'd be a long story. But anyway, so you basically like crank it down. You can lock and unlock the clamp. So here it's like free moving. And it kind of looks like a little guy, doesn't it? With that little screw there. But then you can like, again, like a little diagram on there. Lock and unlock. So move it into lock position. Then you can like screw it up and down. You screw it onto your device. Suctions on both sides, and then you can pull it apart while heating the device to get the screen off without damaging anything. The thing that I think it was Brett, I'm not sure, maybe someone else was designing was like a 3D printed mount, so that if your screen was cracked and couldn't get good suction without like disintegrating or whatever, then you could mount it more easily into there. But the thing I wanted to show you is how like satisfying it is when you just it makes a great little noise. I'm sorry, I did this like 5 times when we were at Maker Nexus.
I'm so glad you got to go to that event. It sounded awesome.
It was pretty small, and I got there pretty late because I'm like that. But it was chill, and we got to get some good videos, so everyone can get the same experience of being there without the frenetic running around and stuff. Yeah, amazing team though. Okay, cool. So soldering stuff. I got a cute note. Did you get a cute note? Probably.
Oh yes, I did get a cute note.
I love notes. People, I would love to set up someday like a mail-in address for us. And if you ever send us something, I hold on to these forever. I have ones from like 8 years ago, probably more, because they just make my little heart so happy. I know they wrote like everyone a note, and I don't care. It's like it's even handwritten. These people, man. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna catch up on the comments, and then I'm gonna dive into doing something.
You're asking
There
about
we go. Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let me actually show my desk here so it's more interesting while I catch up on the comments. I accidentally removed my audio as well as my face. I just want to show my thingy. There we go. I'm gonna make you big. All right, so let me catch up on the comments. Love how portable and inclusive their kits are. Absolutely. There's gonna be something. I wonder what this was referring to. That it's gonna be on my later list. I like the Gandalf one that's posted looking. What were we talking about? Well, Hector, if you come back, then let us know what that was about. Will I lose my warranty if I drill in it? Probably. You know, I'm not totally sure what the warranty structure is on this. I'll check that out. Does it have that electric cherry smell? Is that a reference to something, David? Do you know?
I don't know if that's a reference. It's got that
Smell it.
lithium ion smell for sure.
Mine is pretty neutral.
Yeah, but you haven't opened yours yet.
Well, I haven't opened the whole thing, but there's a little bit of a new technology smell in the iron itself.
Yeah.
I was digging into my pine sill recently and realized I didn't have a charger that was beefy enough for it, but I did learn that for that one at least, you're supposed to like take the tip out and hit it with some wipe it down with IPA before you use it because it can be like factory. It's not like super essential, but like if there's factory chemicals left on there on the surface, then it can detract from the conductivity. But I think it's no like huge deal if you don't do that. I saw your face go. Sorry, David. I like space. Absolutely. You also check out the HackRF Porta Pack. It's really cool and open source. Ooh, I'm gonna pull that up real quick because I'm gonna show everyone this charger that they had as well. HackRF Porta Pack. I feel like I've seen this, but I will never regret looking at it again.
Are you going to share your screen?
I am. I'm
sorry.
gonna do it. Sorry. I had you kind of just slow up on that. Pretty. These things, like, imagine if you had like a cool holster belt or something with like one of these in each side, like the HackRF on one side and then the iFixit on the other. Don't take it to DEF CON though. Like, I heard that this year they started officially like looking into people's hotel rooms and like for specific things like flipper zeros and stuff. I see your face like, I know, really intense. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do because those aren't illegal to have, but let's see. Oh, the patch, the Gandalf. There's a Gandalf patch or something. I don't know. Will it have an app for it and Wi-Fi? So we talked about that a second ago. You can probably scroll back if you're watching later on. Not sure about future plans. Right now, there is a browser console that works in Chrome and WebUSB friendly browsers, and apparently, according to this Hackaday article that David read, a command line interface that you can pull up over serial.
I mean, there's no hardware on here that would allow. There's no antenna. I don't see anything Wi-Fi related on here, so I wouldn't hold out my hopes for a direct Wi-Fi connection. But you can
Which honestly makes me happy. Like, it doesn't need Wi-Fi. I'd rather like things not have Wi-Fi if they don't need it.
I mean, you already want to plug it into USB-C to give it power, so why not communicate over USB-C?
Yeah, true. Okay, so let's see. I haven't turned it on yet. I'm so nervous for no reason at all. Let me see if I can, this is the wrong layout. Here we go. Okay, so, if I screw up, you're gonna save me, right?
Of course. I'll stop
Naturally.
disassembling and I'll focus on what you're doing.
Oh, sure. So, I'm gonna leave this on because there's a whole movement, including Joey Castillo, whom I respect. So I will do it, but I'm gonna do it off screen, and you can pretend it never happened. What?
Hashtag leave the film on.
Yes, there you go. If you're one of those people,
yeah,
I don't understand you, but that's how it goes.
Well, you'll understand when you scratch your screen because you didn't leave that film on there.
Yeah, but it's so ugly. It's like a sensory nightmare. For me, it's like, oh no. Anyway, so do I just hit it or do I hold it down or what?
You have to hold it for like 3 seconds.
Okay. This bit me the other day when I was talking to Sandra on our cafe. There were like interfaces. But okay, so we are at 99% charge. I didn't quite get it up to 100%. I realized that the charger I had plugged into wasn't doing anything, and I ended up using a Raspberry Pi, their most recent charger, which does 5 amps at 5 volts. So I think that'll be better. But here you see it's at like room temp. What does this knob do? Okay, go. Let me do it.
Yeah, that's the jog dial.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it does have a temperature control.
Yep. No, the temperature. The thing was you don't have the temperature control without that. If you just
of course, right. Because you can just buy the iron on its own. Right. Good point. What if I click it? Units, Celsius. Oh, cool. We got some settings. Max temp, 420 Celsius. Idle temp, 100 Celsius. Idle timer, 30 seconds. Idle enable is enabled. Sleep timer, 60 seconds. Sleep enable. temperature correction, 0 degrees Celsius, so you can calibrate it. That's nice. Language, English. Ooh, what do we got for options there? German, French, Spanish, Italian, and back. Power off timer, 10 minutes. Cool. All these sleep functions that will definitely help get you up to 8 hours, or more possibly, with all those functions. Like, really, for anyone who's doing something out in the field. For me, it's bike lights. I've run these bike lights workshops. I make fancy bike lights sometimes, and let me pull us back up so you can be on here too. I've run fancy bike lights workshops and done a few iterations of bike lights. And one of the things that's preventing me from doing it again because they need redoing because they broke is just the pain of getting it up into an apartment, getting it, I can't. This is a small space. I can't fit it in here, and I don't have access right now to a garage to plug it in, down there, and like just being able to bring like a tackle box down or that portable kit, would be amazing. So good. So
Yeah, I'm
for me, the
excited
battery is
for.
huge for that.
There's so many events where I've just had to borrow soldering irons off people because I didn't have a little mini one like everyone else seems to have. And I have this crazy backpack. I'm sure you've seen it. It's got several dozen pounds worth of laptops and enough for like a medium-sized business, not even like a
And
small
various cyber decks and
cyber decks and stuff in it. And it's fully wired, like there's batteries and stuff in it, so I can just like plug in and use all my stuff. But I didn't have a soldering iron for it, and this was like the missing piece that I was so excited to add to my crazy hacker space that I wear every day.
I cannot thank the iFixit team enough. Another application, Fixit clinics. So there's like Fixit clinics, repair cafes. If you look up either of those, you can find a group in your area where you can volunteer or you can get stuff fixed. The ones here are really cool. Peter Mui, I'm actually not sure how you say his last name, but runs them. And they have this super cool model where you can go as a coach. You can sign up to get your thing fixed, whether that's like a bicycle, a sewing machine, a mixer, a CD player, like a child's toy, any kind of mending, like fabric and stuff too. And they'll coach you. So their ethos is that like you fix it, but an expert like shows you how and shows you how to use the tools, which I think is so cool. And I love what they're doing. I'm gonna drop those links in the description too. What?
If I can plug our local makerspace in Ann Arbor, which you're very familiar with, All Hands Active, we also have a Repairs Day Thursday. Is actually one of where a lot of our like new membership and stuff comes from. Is people can just bring something in and we'll help them fix it in all of those different domains that you mentioned, from electronics to fabrics, textiles, and things like that. And so we're all about the keeping things out of dumpsters and circular economy and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right to repair.
Yes, I'm gonna pull it. It's trying to switch to another window, so let me get rid of those. But let me show you real quick. Here locally, we have Fixit clinics in the Bay Area. There's also virtual ones. So if you want to get virtual coaching or volunteer virtually, you can do that. A thing I love about coaching is that you also learn a ton of stuff. So I learned some weird stuff about CD players and how apparently a lot of them sort of die because the laser gets stuck in one position. And you can use a pen cap to like push it, like loosen it up again and like stuff like that, I adore it. And then there's repaircafe.org as well. So there's Fixit Clinic. You can look them up. And then there's repaircafe.org. They've got those, I think, all over the world. There's like a map somewhere, but yeah, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France, UK, United States, Japan, India, etc. Super cool. And of course, love it. Here in the Bay Area, we've got Pseudo Room and Circuit Launch, which both occasionally have ones. Healers Blue Book Valley. Let me take the stickers off. Yeah, fair. What's up?
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to reduce your value by taking the sticker off. You gotta leave it on.
I think.
On.
I don't know that there's a cute slogan for this, but I'm of the philosophy where you should use up, like you should get the scars, get the tattoos, let your body and objects be marked wabi-sabi, I guess, but in the like, you know, it's sort of like, you know, kintsugi, wabi-sabi, all those different, like, you know, fix it with gold, make it so that like it looks, which I can see like both. Neither of them has to be like an overarching worldview. You know, you can do whatever you want, but like that's how I think about it. Things are made to be used and loved. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This would be like, and did you have like a portable soldering iron for working on your Formula student car, or did you have to do it all like plugged in somewhere? Like, I can only imagine. I did first robotics in high school, and we were partnered with OSUs who had OSU who had an amazing like weird car team that we would work out of their like high bay, and just, not everyone has a massive warehouse to work on cars in. You know, you can just take this out. They mentioned boats too. Okay, so.
Which OSU is that? I feel like there's many OSUs.
Oh, Ohio State University. And yes, I got crap from both sides when I went to Michigan. Anyway.
I'm almost within, I can almost see the stadium from right here.
Oh, I believe it. Okay, tea time. I was looking through the settings here. Tariq says, I did first robotics too. That is so cool. Yeah. Team 677. So they got a timer enabled. Battery health 100%. Nice. Error log not applicable. Oh, they got an error log on here.
Yeah.
And a back. That's so cool. Should I put mine in another language? Okay, later, Alex. Isn't that pretty though? Okay, so we also have this little slider I mentioned earlier. And my focus on here is manual. Sorry, so it's a little blurry. But that is the little switch that you flip to actually turn it on. And look at that. Wait, you missed it because it was so fast. I forgot. It literally goes up in 5 seconds to full temperature.
It feels faster than 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's less than 5 seconds. Like you can see it in the video I posted yesterday or today, depending on the platform. Like you can watch the numbers go up from room temperature. It is so fast. And in terms of cooling down, again, this cap here is thermally insulating. You can pop it off of there. You can throw your iron with the cap on around on a table and stuff. Yeah, I am going to take a quick look at the you can see what it does when I leave it there. I'm going to take a quick look at the getting started guide and just see, because I'm a teacher's pet and I like to make sure I'm not screwing my stuff up.
Speaking of screwing your stuff up, I've got the soldering iron apart.
Ooh, show us.
It's just 4 screws to get it all in there.
Cool.
Another pretty PCB to look at.
Oh yeah, and they do have the same audio connector as you might see on like I forget whether the Pine Cell has it. I think they do. No, they don't. They have a little ceramic end. But then there are some like in the TS series from Miniware, I think, that have like an audio connector. These are not compatible with other irons, by the way, and that is for a specific reason. Once again, the reason I grilled Brett about this is that I was like, someone who thinks about stuff like this clearly has like very deep aesthetic opinions and like functional opinions about stuff. It is shorter than most irons, and that is because it gives you more control. He doesn't like having like a long iron tip, which means that like your hand is over here, you know, your tip is over there, and unless you make it smell like chicken, you can't get any closer control. Per the classic meme. So it is shorter than most. You can see it's just like a couple of inches long, and that is precisely for a reason. It does mean it doesn't fit other tips. You have to get them from iFixit, but they are, you know, they do pride themselves on the whole idea of like, you know, not being proprietary, all that good stuff, but like they also have these strong opinions about very specific things, which comes out in features like this. So that's like, you know, you got this thermal insulating magnetic cap, you've got this temperature ring, you've got the on-off switch, you've got the locking ring, you've got the accelerometer and fall detection, all these things and the shorter tip. Every single tiny part of this has been thought through to an immense degree. And I promise I'm going to actually solder something today.
Kevin says, what does it sound like if you plug headphones into it?
Yeah.
1/4-inch headphones, 1/8 inch.
Oh no! Next time.
Next time.
We have another question who says, I think this is Portuguese, like what frequency is it working at? And I'm not actually sure if that, like, if you can help me out, like, what does that mean exactly in terms of like soldering irons? Is it just like, oh, maybe in terms of like what your wall outlet frequency is? So this just has a USB-C in for power that you charge it off of. So whatever country you're in, whatever frequency you're working at, you're going to be using an adapter to feed it power. And so presumably, my assumption is that you just like use whatever adapter you would use for like another USB-C device that takes a significant amount of like amperage, and then it would be able to work with that. It's sort of independent of the wall frequency. I'm not an expert. David, maybe you can fact check me there, but that's my
No, I
understanding.
mean, you can just use whatever USB-C plug in your country, which is actually a really great feature because I can go to, all these different countries with the same piece of kit and use it no matter what without needing to have an adapter. And, it's very easy to find a USB-C cable that you can borrow off of someone to charge it. And the chargers we were talking about, the 65-watt GAN charger, whatever, is nice to have, but I mean, you could just charge it at whatever in the airport. You don't have to use the high power charger.
Yeah, that's huge for travel as well, actually. I switched to I made this mistake once. I brought a direct wall plug soldering iron, one of those cheap ones, to Sweden. Because I was invited to the Maker Fair out there. I think it was Stockholm, and I was very jet lagged, and I only realized something was wrong when like the plastic handle like started smelling, and I was like, "Oh no!" And
was
that's
like
less of a frequency and more of a
220 volts or something. It was 220 instead of
yeah, it
120.
was 220 volts, not frequency but voltage, but still like, and so like, yeah, no, not great. I've also worked with butane powered soldering irons. I think it's a Dremel brand one. No. Anyway, butane soldering iron, not great either. You can like, it's cool that you can like carry a arbitrary amount of butane with you if you want to do that, but the TSA won't be happy. And like, I found that the temperature control was a little weird, but it did. But you could take the tip off, and then it would be a little butane torch, so you could do cool stuff with that. But not super optimal.
I
Okay.
forgot I had one of those. Yeah, that's how we used to have to do portable soldering back in the day.
Yeah, I took one out to the desert one time. That was also the year that I learned that hot glue is not a good thing to have your bike lights mounted with in the desert because it's hot. So yeah, we got this quick start. I'm just gonna go through this real quick. Is there anything? I'm sure it's fine, Alex. Just solder something. Then we got a bunch of
manual one. I just turned it on, and the only trouble I had is I couldn't find the little switch on the side. I was like, why isn't this thing working?
Oh, this little guy on the handle. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Okay, send in tool amounts. You can swap that to either side we talked to you about. Oh yeah, using the portable power station as a device charger. We talked about this before. Someone asked about it. Yes, you can use it. When fully charged, the portable power station can provide 100 watts of charging power and has enough capacity to fully recharge a large smartphone 3 to 4 times. Cool.
There you go.
Turn it on. Animation. Firmware updates. I will do that later. Okay, anything cool here? I promise. We got 2 minutes left. I don't care. I'm gonna hang out. I'm not leaving without soldering something. I'm glad I brought something quick because I thought I'd be digging in more, but whatever. Anyway, cool. Whatever. Let's do it. YOLO.
I took mine apart. I didn't really have a plan for putting it back together yet, so maybe I should do that in the next 2 minutes.
Mine's got gone into idle mode, so you can see it sort of. Oh wait! I think it felt me picking it back up. It's woken up again.
Yeah.
So cool. What are you? I guess because the whole thing moved, so now the ring is red again. That is so cool. Stop it! Stop it! Don't stop. Never stop. iFixit. We love you. All right. So I'm gonna use this guy. I'm gonna use So what I'm soldering here is an Adafruit STM32 F411 dev board. You can find it at adafruit.it/4877. I'm going to put some headers on here.
That's funny. The first thing I soldered with it was also Adafruit featherboard.
Oh yeah, Brett was kept trying to hand me flux. I think because it's no lead solder, and I was like, I've been using this stuff for years. Like, I know the pain. It's fine. I'm used to it. And I think it came out pretty well, honestly. I'll show you, because I gotta just like defend my skills here.
Mm-hmm.
I put the resistor on the wrong way at first, but I mean, it's not wrong. It's just like I didn't notice that the holes were covered in mask one way and not the other way, so I had to be a little special with it. But like, yeah, I think it's fine. My joints are fine. So I'm gonna go raw, no flux.
Zero flux given.
Yeah. No flux given. Love it. Okay, where's this? Okay. Does it go like this? Yes, alrighty. And these holes are not offset, so we don't have a friction fit, but that's fine. Maybe I'll do the long ones first, just for funsies. I'm not actually sure what I might use this for, but I haven't done a ton with STM32 boards. You know, even though this can hold a board, I think I'm gonna go with the breadboard approach because that is a little easier when it comes to headers. And now I have to grab that breadboard. Let's see.
I did the same thing.
I'm gonna be right back. I'll put the focus on you so that you can deal with it. I won't be able to hear you for a sec, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, I can fill some time. I did manage to take everything apart, the battery and the iron. It was just 4 screws to get this completely in pieces. Obviously, you don't have to do that to change tips. I just wanted to see kind of what all the pieces were. So 10 out of 10 repairability there, I think. And on the battery, obviously, I showed that earlier, but that was let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 screws to get that down to the bare essentials. I don't necessarily want to take the cells apart or anything like that, but I just thought I'd give it a try and see what all the pieces look like inside. And here's that lovely jog dial knob, potentiometer cap.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Also on the Friday evening, slightly suggestive things. Have you ever heard of knobfeel.com? Have we talked about this?
No, I don't think I have heard of knobfeel.com. The other thing I wanted to mention is this requires 1 fillet and 1 Torx. Go ahead. What is knobfeel.com?
It sounds dirty, but it's not. I think that was the joke. But it's a site where this guy jokingly, I think, could be wrong, but he started reviewing knobs of like everything from like hi-fis to all kinds of different stuff, and he would rate them on things like axial skew, like how stable is it on the axis, and just like various like very aesthetic ratings of these things, which I thought was awesome, and like they're really fun to read through. And I ended up getting like, huh?
I was gonna say, was ratemyknob.com already taken? Or?
Probably. But yeah, he ended up getting like stuff sent to him from different companies because it became like a phenomenon. So these like legit companies would send him their like high-end equipment. Let's see.
I mean, potentiometers.
Well, he would they would send him the entire thing, and he would rate just like how the different knobs felt on it, and he had like definite like opinions about it. It just goes to show, like, if you are like opinionated about something and you have opinions about this like design and it's vaguely informed or whatever, you can make it into a thing.
Oh, I forgot to put the switch in.
Oh no! This is going pretty well. Yeah.
But yeah, potentiometers and knobs are actually like ludicrously expensive. So it's good to make an informed decision before you buy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Have you talked to or do you ever do modular synthesis, or do you talk to any of those people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course you do. We talk to the same people. I know a lot of those people. Thea Flowers. But yeah, huge pots and jacks, massively expensive. I kind of screwed that one up, but that's fine. So I'm using lead free here just from my like massive roll. That's going nicely. Oh yeah, this is great.
Did you want to talk about technique at all?
Oh no, actually, I could. I'm not gonna give people like an entire rundown on soldering technique, but personally, like, so I guess with lead-free solder, I tend to have the temperature set a little bit higher just to because it could be finicky. That's the big thing about lead-free is that it's like a lot more finicky about temperature. It can it like wants to solidify a lot faster, and that can be a pain in the butt if you're trying to like keep an entire joint warm or whatever. I'm gonna come down and focus in a little closer here just so that we can see what I'm doing. Is that all the distance we've got? That might be all we have, but I'll refocus. Anyway, so one big thing when you're starting to solder is that you don't want to get your fingers too close to the join. And I know that like we just did this whole talk about how like the barrel here is shorter so that you get more control. But I personally like, beginners will often like get their fingers really close in, especially as the solder goes away and it gets shorter as you use it. So you'll see like kids especially like getting their fingers real close in there, and it's partly for control, and it's like, no, don't do the thing. And so it's good to like keep a bit of a tail on there. I like it because also like it keeps my space less crowded. I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. With soldering stuff in general, you want to start with like the lowest profile object on there. So for this, I started off doing the resistor, which is pretty typical, and then put on the LED and the switch, and then the battery connector. Actually, that's about the same height. I might have done those all at the same time.
Can you tell me, Alex, real quick, which way the
Yeah.
switch goes? There's a blue side and an orange side, and I don't know which. Okay,
Orange
so
is hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to kick it, okay, so blue is towards the tip. Got it. Thank you.
Blue is toward the tip. It's pushed toward the tip right now, and it's showing red for me.
Yeah, I'm saying the blue side is closest to the tip is what I needed. So thank you.
Blue side.
It's fine. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Oh, I think I see what you mean. Like if I had flipped the switch the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Let me know if you want camera focus again, by the way.
Everything's looking good.
Cool. Everybody, I am doing the all the AV stuff as well as appearing as per usual. So if you got requests, we can fulfill. Look at the... Oh, Tariq says your first team was Team 4941. Super cool. Ours went through a few different name changes. Oh dear. Well, it's pretty deep into this stream, so if you're here now, you'll probably be one of a few people who hear this. But so our team was an all-girls team, and we started out being called the Wire Strippers, which we thought was hilarious. And then for obvious reasons, the second like someone in charge at the school heard about that, they were like, absolutely not. Nope. No. And so like we changed our name to the Unicorns, which was like the school mascot, which I also got teased for in college. Because if you forgot your I think if you like lost your room key, they would verify your identity with a security question, and they always chose that one for me. Which, the fact that I lost my key often enough.
This is information I was not aware of.
It only happened a couple of times, but it was enough of a deterrent. I was like, okay, they're always gonna get after me about the unicorn thing.
That's just the Highlanders.
Oh, that's really cool.
I guess.
Did you have kilts?
Not officially that I can recall. I mean, the mascot did.
We had like uniforms, plaid skirts, which was, close enough. I mean, no, people would hate me for saying that. But anyway. Cool.
Well,
other technique stuff. Ooh, I heard noise.
I've reassembled my iron and plugged it into the computer, and everything seems to be working, so that's good.
Ooh. What are your thoughts after taking the whole thing apart and put it back together again?
It was 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to get the whole thing apart, and it was a piece of cake.
And the battery, at the event, someone had taken it apart, and they had a little bit of confusion in getting it back together. I think it had to
That's
do
what
with
I'm like.
like, oh yeah, the order of like plugging in the battery. I think the idea
I
is
didn't unplug the battery. I didn't unplug the battery because I didn't want to go. I just wanted to get a taste for it without going like full hard mode, you know?
legit. What is that plug like? Because I think that was the thing actually. Would you like
Yeah.
me to tell you, or would you like to go at it
No, I
first?
mean that was the amount of resistance I was getting trying to unplug this is why I didn't bother with that
Ah,
because
yeah. They did say that it's designed to always be unplugged while you have the device apart, so that kind of makes sense, right? Is that like while it's being taken apart, it should be like depowered. So I guess it's designed to if you run into any issues with reassembling, that may be why. I
okay.
don't know. I didn't do it myself, also, so you know we'll see. We'll see.
Notice that I did not look at the iFixit guide during this process.
No, yeah, I saw that face you made too. Okay, it's gone back to blue, purple color, and I've picked it up again, and already it is red again. Cool. Nice. Mm-mm. So I guess any more tips on this? So this like breadboard trick is pretty good if you're adding headers to something. David also used that. What else we got? So obviously you want to place the tip at the join where both parts meet and heat them up both at the same time. Add a little bit of solder just to get the thermal connection solid to both, because if you're just putting bare metal against bare metal, it can be hard to get a good transfer of energy. Heat, and let's see. Obviously eye protection is a good thing to have. Oh yeah, there's another cool thing, which is that their team is working on a fume extractor that is built into like an open source fume extractor design that uses sort of a PC fan built into a shipping box of iFixit's. So you basically like, yeah, you insert like the PC fan. You cut a hole in the side of the box just with like a box cutter or whatever, and one of the few times I would probably actually use a box cutter for its stated purpose. And
Some kind of
let's
filter?
see. Yeah. And then you get like a filter medium, and there's like a little switch they recommend, and a barrel jack, I think. I forget what exactly, but anyway, I don't remember the specifics, but you'll be able to find them soon. I think they already have a tutorial up, but they don't yet have like a kit, but it would be pretty straightforward. And it's adaptable to work with various sizes and shapes of PC fans. You know, adaptable in terms of like you cut a different size or shape hole in the box. But like yeah, you can adapt it to whatever one you have. And I'm doing this in a really fiddly way for no reason really, but I want to get the header straight. Oh, that's a thing. Pack soldering. So typically I'll do like in a situation like this where I know what's happening. The cable's getting in the way of the solder, so I'm not actually getting down to the joint. Okay. It can be useful to solder one joint kind of loosely, like this. And then without touching the hot part that you just soldered, just like take a look at it and see if it's straight enough. And then you've just soldered one joint. So now you can like, if it's crooked, you can readjust it before soldering all the rest of them. And I actually, another thing that can happen is if you put too much heat on for too long, you can melt the plastic holders on the headers a little bit, and you might get your headers to slip around a bit. So you can see this last one has actually slipped down a little. Should I try and? Yeah, because that'll actually affect the functionality. So I'm actually going to I'm going to desolder that, by which I mean I'm just going to like lazily melt it back off with my soldering iron. This might actually not work because I'm trying to pull the header out of there. I could use soldering wick or desoldering braid, but well, before I solder that pin, I'm gonna like grab some pliers and pull it more like further out again. Oh, I've got my silicone tipped solder sucker here. I love these things. Apparently their team is not as hot on them. This is one I got from Adafruit. It's a beautiful, it's aesthetically gorgeous. Look at the font on there. Look at that matte but shiny. Ugh, it's so nice. And the tip is silicone, so it's heat resistant, so it's not going to melt all over everything and smell bad like a lot of others solder suckers will. And it's got this beautiful red thing. But maybe I'll end up doing that. You held up your battery for a second there. You doing something?
I'm just trying to jam it into the case. I've got it all like reassembled, but I can't seem to. I was looking at yours because I was like, okay, the iFixit logo is on top, right? So
Oh
this is the
yeah.
right and this and it's this is the right orientation, right? Knob this way.
Yeah.
And be able to,
Let's see. I have the
yeah.
the bottom of the iFixit logo faces the screen.
Yeah, I'm just having a real hard time like getting it to slide into the case.
They
for
said
some
that it
reason.
shouldn't require that much force,
Yeah.
and it might have to do with the battery connection still being attached.
Oh man,
That's
how
what
long did
that's what the
battery-
guy was going through at the event. So you're definitely not alone in that.
Okay.
If all else fails, I guess we can pull up the tutorial or whatever. But going raw. Okay. Let me just get these other. I'll get these other ones soldered in, and then I'll mess around with that final pin there. Get down in there. I'm making it harder for myself by putting the cable in the way. Again, everyone, feel free to drop any questions in the chat. We've covered a lot of stuff here, but there's always more.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I could tell you about how on the kilt front, or Scottish front, Highlander front, I started listening to a couple more audiobooks with Scottish narrators. It's always
Speaking of
nice.
Scotland, we could
Tell
plug
us.
the Open Hardware Summit.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Open Hardware Summit. Do I have this pulled up? Open Hardware. Oops. I don't want to show people my like search history. Like it's all benign, absolutely, but it's embarrassing sometimes. I don't know. I'm just afraid there might be something weird in there. Hardware Summit 2025.
I have a new idea. Maybe I shouldn't have put the faceplate on yet, and I should slide it in from the back. I bet that's what I was missing.
Ooh. So, Open Hardware Summit 2025 is in Edinburgh, Scotland. It is going to be on May. Oh my goodness. I always have the hardest time finding it on here. I'm so bad at this. Here we go. May 30th and 31st, 2025. There you go. Edinburgh. The call for proposals is open, and they're going to be opening up scholarship, what do they call it? Fellowship applications in a while. You can go there as well in case you would like to check out $500 stipend, entrance to the summit, and mentorship opportunities for the 9th year running. Very cool. You can apply through December 22nd for that Ada Lovelace Fellowship or Summit Fellowship. Very cool. So, Open Hardware, super cool. Also, coming up next month is Open Hardware Month, and there's going to be a bunch of cool events around that. So go check out OSHWA, the Open Source Hardware Association. They are the ones who put on Open Hardware Summit. In fact, I think the summit came first, and then OSHWA was created to sort of like handle all that. But they do a bunch of other cool stuff including Open Hardware certification. And Open Hardware Month next month is going to have a ton of cool stuff. So it's going to be Halloween month. It's going to be Open Hardware month. It's going to be an awesome time for all of us. Love it. And the web design is by Winter Bloom. We previously talked about Thea Flowers, aka Thea Valkyrie, aka Winter Bloom modular synthesizers.
You can
came
read
up
about
earlier.
the certifications on makezine.com as well.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's check it out.
Yeah.
OSHWA certification magazine. I am finding an article from last year, but I'm sure there's more.
There's every month, should be.
Is there like a guide? Oh, cool.
There's probably like a thing you can click on to get all of them, some kind of tag or whatever. Or just click on Sid's name. Click on Sid's name, and then it'll.
Oh, cool. There we go. Go to there.
There you go.
There we are. Ooh, look at that.
Yes.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, every month. Check it out. July 2024, June. There's a manta ray with like a tracker on it. That's so cool. What is this?
Yeah, they highlight
Got
some
it.
really
E-paper
cool
copy.
projects.
Wow. Nice. What is this noisemaker? Infrared, ambient light. Oh, another thing I was gonna do is put headers on my expansions for my Flipper Zero.
Yeah, I got a couple of I got a Wi-Fi backpack that I'm excited to play with this week.
Cool. Yeah. That's one of the things I want to set up, and I think there's like prototyping thingies as well. You know what? I'm not gonna mess around with this pin too much. I'm gonna pull out the flipper because I'm excited. Also, we are 20 minutes past the hour when we said we were going to be. So let me know if you have any time constraints and stuff. Probably let it run for another 10 minutes otherwise,
Fine.
because 90 minutes and then I'll go take a big nap.
Flipper 1.0 firmware just came out.
Oh yes, that's why I pulled it out.
Oh, cool.
I forgot about that, but good point. Great excuse to do some more flipper hacking. I've got it. Sort of the embarrassing thing for me with the flipper, not that embarrassing, but is that most of what I've used it for is turning on the monitor that I use because it automatically turns off all the time. And so it's got these built-in like functions for TV remotes and stuff, like a universal remote. Very silly main use, but super cute little dolphin guys. Their little custom animations.
What's your dolphin's name?
Asmatre.
Oh.
What's yours?
I can't remember, which I guess is indicative of how poorly I treat it.
I stopped being able to resist this thing once they came out with the transparent case. Check that bad boy out.
I am so jealous.
Could not resist.
I just had the original white one from Kickstarter or whatever.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So they've got these GPIOs.
Do you have the video game module?
I do. Yeah, the one with the RP2040, right?
Yeah, it's super cool.
I got it all in this like bag here.
Sorry to go back to the battery, but do you know how to remove this connector then? Because that might be what's stopping me from getting it back in.
I don't know. Let's take a look at the website.
It's pretty, everything seems to be like you shouldn't have to really yank on it, so I'm scared to really.
And maybe it's in the portable power station guide too.
Oh, maybe you have to crack this little plastic thing and open to do it.
I really want to know what you're doing.
There's this blue plastic thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if maybe it seems like it's got hinges at the top. So maybe whatever it is I've got to pop this open to get in there. I'm kind of scared.
Definitely look at the thing. Oh yeah, you may be braver than I.
I mean, I had the whole thing apart.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at the little
make a fire or anything.
Booklet. Okay, it does not show you how to take it apart in the little booklet. So I'm gonna look on the website. They've got the iFixit's Soldering Repair website, which is linked from the product page. I think I clicked on it from here someplace. But anyway, they got this guides up already. Portable power station, documents, user guide, schematics. Let's look at the user guide. This is the little thingy that came with it. Okay. The repair guide may not be up yet. Let's see. I think that'll definitely, if nothing else, it'll definitely be up by October 15th. There's some more stuff in the console. Oh, that's like serial number and firmware updates and stuff. Parts diagrams. Oh, here we go. Exploded diagram. Where's our battery pack? It looks like it's in one piece in the exploded diagram, but that's...
Make that bigger. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's something like I'm doing something backwards.
Let me know if you want me to like pan and zoom or whatever.
It's not become bigger. I don't know if your screen sharing is just weird, but I'm just looking at the web.
Oh, interesting. Oh, it opened another tab or something. Let me see if I can. There we go. Oh, you are tiny. Okay, and begin.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
that was
So
smaller this time for some reason.
it's
Anyway.
definitely that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just scroll. So that doesn't really tell you anything about how to remove that. In fact, it shows it as still intact.
Yeah, it does. This was showing
Hmm.
bigger in the other. Let me see if I can get them into the same window. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so the iFixit logo is definitely towards the front. Now they show it sliding out of the front, which is also what I'm trying to do. Just can't convince it to get on these little. Oh God! I just turned it on. I was pushing down on it to try and push the case on,
Ooh,
which
yeah.
turns the buttons on. So I'm sure that's a good idea.
Ah, I found my prototyping boards.
Hmm. Yeah, this is really.
Well, I guess Flipper had a Q&A session about their firmware update today too, and also Atari shared their dolphin name. Cool. Oh, sorry, I'll pull that back up for you.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna brute force it.
Okay. Let me just double check that they don't have an actual like repair guide up yet, because they might. Oh wait, here we go. Now they have the product pages and stuff. Parts diagram and schematics. Yeah, sorry. Oh, don't kill it. Oh, they have a fast charger. That's cool. Good to know. Experience the rush. That's cool. Look how pretty. Oh, so nice. Clear Electronics are having such a comeback. Speaking of which, I'm going to swap back to my Flipper. So yeah, I'm not going to solder anything on the Flipper. Obviously, it's already got its little GPIO pins exposed, and those are supposed to, you just swap stuff in and out. We've got three things here. We've got the video game module, the developer board, which is Wi-Fi enabled, so if you want to add Wi-Fi, and this is just prototyping boards where you can plug whatever in. My goal next with the Flipper is to write a simple app that will read from Grove modules, specifically sensors, and then be able to like output that on the screen. I'd also like to be able to do that with the M5 stack card computer, but yeah, I'm more excited about the Flipper side, so I'm just gonna like solder some headers on here real quick. Do some more soldering. I said we'd cut out at the half hour, but also like, if you're still going with your reassembly, I want to see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
We got different sizes of boards here. Cool. We got the headers. And I did choose the translucent breadboard here. Check that out. So cool. You can see if you're like little, what do you call those little grabby things in there? Are compromised. Clamps.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the name of the yeah.
It's also, again, I had a like 2-hour meeting before this, and my brain is pretty much putty at this point. Yeah. Oh, cool! Tariq offers to test out if we write an app for Flipper. Super cool. Thank you. I may just do that. So we've got two sizes. It's like with Arduinos, you got to make sure the right header goes on the right spot. Got 2 rows. What are you there? You said something.
Oh, I just said I love that the Flipper has an app store now. It's a total game changer.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been around, hasn't it? Like I think since I got mine, I was able to put things on my device from the app store. Or are you saying that like you can? I was about to solder these on.
I mean, when I first got mine, there was nothing like that at all. There wasn't even.
Oh, you were probably there before me. That's probably what happened, because it took me a while. I waited until, like I said, until the transparent one came out. RW announces, "Hi, I'm back. Welcome back." Oh, what you got there?
I'm just still trying to figure out how to get this plug.
Yeah, I think they said it slides in.
I tried sliding.
I don't know. Again, I was not the person doing it. I'm just offering random overheard third-hand information. Actually, I guess it was first hand. But anyway, quick note here. I was about to put these in backwards. You can see they're right angle headers, and do not want to put it in, well, I don't know. I don't want to put it in that way. So in order to get this onto here, I need to put the short end into the PCB facing down. Not like this. There we go. You got a double row here so that you can wire stuff in on this side and then have the headers coming out there. I'm not going to do this. No, I will do this on the breadboard because that way they'll all be aligned. Even if the board is crooked, they'll all be in the same direction. You know what? Actually, having this be translucent is a little bit annoying when I'm trying to put stuff in. It's a little confusing. Or maybe it's just that this breadboard is super tight because, oh man, I'm like cranking on this thing and it's not going in. Oh, a little bit. Okay. And no, it really doesn't want to. Okay, well, whatever. We're just going to do it like this and it'll be tilted and that'll be fine. I'm going to wedge actually these other PCBs under here to make a little prop so that this will be roughly flat. Soldering hacks for you right here. Yeah, so that's basically flat now. Having set it on top of these other two PCBs. All right, we're gonna pick this up again. Oh yeah, I just jostled it and it came back to life. That's so cool. You don't even have to pick it up, which, you know, could be a plus or a minus. It is not sensing though that it's like plugged into the cap or not. That I think that is important to note, both in terms of safety, like you don't want to make the wrong assumptions there. It is solely relying apparently on the accelerometer. So we're just gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna try and attach a Grove module or two to the Flipper Zero and see if I can get a readout. There may already be an app for this. There are a bunch of really cool like GPIO and such apps for the Flipper, and if I weren't using my phone as a camera right now, then I would show you. But alas, no. They got ones for you can program an Arduino from the GPIO on the Flipper. Someone's got an app for that. There's various types of. Someone's written an app to read out the DHT11 or DHT22 temperature and humidity sensor, temperature, humidity, pressure sensor. I'm aiming this poorly because my solder's angled up. That is, you know, you don't get quite as much control when you're using as long of a tail as I am. I'm being a little excessive, actually. There we go. I could add a little flux to help speed this up, but honestly, if I have the iron in the right place, it should be doing it, so. There we go. Feeding the solder, of course, directly into the join, not onto the iron itself, except a little bit at the start to make good thermal contact. Then you wait for it to kind of like sink into the join. Not too much. You want to get a concave cone that's shiny. If it's too much blobbed on there, that's not great. And you want to make sure that it's actually connecting at the bottom. It's not just like a glob adhered to the header itself, but it makes good connection. No cold soldering joints. I probably go a little heavier on the solder than other people do, but it's because I like to be certain. It's not like I'm going to go broke from buying solder. This is such a soothing type of task. Very meditative.
Yeah.
You made a noise. Oh, let me get these last three in, and then I want to see. Did you get it together?
Not exactly, but I made a breakthrough of sorts.
Okay, that could go either breakthrough, but like the good kind of breakthrough. It sounded like a happy noise.
Good breakthrough.
Okay, there we go. Another thing you could do with this stuff is that like I like to, when I'm finishing a join, to like flick the iron tip along whatever wire or header I'm soldering, which helps draw any excess up the metal. Usually there isn't much, but like I said, I'm a little heavy-handed just because I like to get a good join. But to get a nice joint at the end, especially with like LEDs and resistors and stuff, just pulling the tip up the end of the leg that you're going to cut off helps. If you have any extra on there that's a little too much, it'll like make it real nice.
I do
Okay.
exactly the same thing.
All right, talk to me, David.
I just managed to pop this blue thing open. I'm not sure if
Oh,
I'm supposed to do that. Like, I can't tell if this is intentional or if it's supposed to be like this is like a handle for. But now I have insight into kind of like what I'm trying to disconnect here, and I see that it is
yeah.
just like a straight. Like I should be able
Got
to just pull
spade
this off.
connectors in there.
So now I'm just the spade connectors give me confidence that I can just yank on it and it'll get it off. So I'm gonna keep yanking over here. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I've already got it unplugged. This is great.
Yay!
Awesome.
I'm gonna stick. So I've got one of these soldered now. That's cool. I'm gonna see if any of the other things here need soldering.
Oh wow. Oh
Oh,
wow.
what?
Okay. So, the information that you gave me was exactly what I needed. So I couldn't get it into it while it was plugged in. I guess I shouldn't have been allowed to get it out while it was plugged in, and I kind of did something a bit forceful to get that out because I just couldn't get this going at all, and now it's just trivial.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I wonder if they
Because
should like print a warning on there, because that's
I
a
think
sample size of 2. Oh, so go on.
I think this thing was sticking up on purpose to stop me from doing that because it's like not supposed to be disassembled while it's live. So I think I did something naughty there.
That makes sense. And I'm curious. So like just moving the pieces in my brain. I haven't seen it super close up, and I'm a little confused about like how it's supposed to. Oh. Yeah, but like with the battery in there, does the cable like go? Oh, where does the cable?
Yeah, I'll put the battery back in there now. I was just trying to.
Yeah.
Battery, the blue thing was sticking up and kind of making it so I couldn't easily move it through there. But I'm assuming that once I move it through here in the disconnected state, it'll want to. Yeah, I couldn't do that before. With this thing was making it so I couldn't put it back in because I never should have been allowed to take it out. I think is what the problem was.
Yeah, I wonder if they should put like a warning on there someplace.
Yeah. But
Cool,
it's got
though.
a little zap sign on it.
A little what?
It's got a little zap electricity sign on it.
Well, your earring is very thematic. Is that one of Claire's?
Yeah, absolutely.
Claire Danielle Cassidy, everybody. Lots of really cool laser cut, aka Laser Mistress.
Yeah.
Makes a bunch of really cool laser jewelry.
And doesn't sell them, but sells the plans so that you can make them yourself.
Pretty cool. So this Wi-Fi dev board comes with, I guess, the headers pre-installed. Okay, don't need to do anything there. Pardon me. Oh my. It's got a USB-C connection. I think actually you can use this independently of the Flipper Zero device. I did an unboxing on it a million years ago, and so I don't remember exactly anymore, but I think you can like program it with the Flipper and then run it separately. Some people have made 3D printable enclosures for this. All kinds of other like 3D printables that you can integrate with your Flipper as well. I think there's like special cute little cases that you can 3D print out of like flexible silicone or whatever.
And which board is that? The official one?
Yeah, this is the official Wi-Fi dev board. Cool. Wi-Fi enabled developer board. So it's got Wi-Fi on here with this ESP 32S2 W rover. You got a cute little dolphin on there, which always makes me think of oh my gosh, what's the not Minority Report, Johnny Mnemonic. You got some other GPIOs on here that are labeled IO 37, 14, 21, etc. Not super in order, but you've got, I think, okay, and then you've got different ones along the headers here.
If
11,
I can
13.
get the camera back real quick, Alex, I just wanted to say this before so I mean, it's got a little ridge here. It's not going to show up very easily on the camera, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's to stop you yanking it through the front like I apparently did. So that's I was too careful with it. That's clearly what it's supposed to do to prevent you from working on it while the battery is live.
Exciting though. And I think this is all the soldering. So I'm gonna just show people real quick the other thing I have here, and then give you the camera back for for realsies. The other thing that David mentioned a second ago is the video game module, which, as I mentioned before, is RP2040 powered with the same chip that's on the original Raspberry Pi Pico. If you're interested in the Pico, watch our last session, which was about the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. Right at the end, we managed to get those programmed, but we've been messing around a little bit with the SDKs. Very interesting. And we're going to have to come back to that at some point, but not quite yet. But yeah, this is another cool thing. Also comes with the headers soldered on, so I don't need to like solder those. But we've covered all these before on the Hackster channel, and I'm certain that Meg has covered them as well. And then one final thing with soldering. Again, I use lead-free solder. I got a giant roll of it right here. It's great. And also this stuff here is a tip cleaner. So if your tip gets really nasty and corroded, I mean, there's points of no return, but in general, you just like stick the hot tip in there, unless I'm using it super wrong. And it kind of like, you get this really satisfying little hiss, and it like your tip comes out all beautiful and shiny, and I'm not sure by what kind of probably highly toxic wizardry it works, but it does work really nicely, and it generally makes your iron work a little better again. And then again, you can get more tips. Ooh!
Forgot a piece.
Oh no! Yeah,
it's okay because now that I got this thing off once, it's way easier to get off again. Like it's actually quite hard to like remove it from its little slot right here. And, like there's not really anywhere to leverage, so you can do that, but it just moves so much easier now that I've got it off once. So
nice.
Here we go, opening it again.
Oh, here I go opening it. Sorry. Friday brain. Let me pull up this exploded diagram again.
Yeah.
In the proper way. Go over there. There we are. So this is the piece that David is talking about.
That is now installed.
Nice.
Nope, this way. Yeah. Okay, is there any other pieces I'm forgetting before I get too far with this? Front faceplate, we'll put that on. Of course, the film is still on because I'm not an animal.
I absolutely am. Yeah, barbaric. I find it very amusing that we are currently both blonde as well. If you watch our stuff more often, you'll see us both go through various shades of blue. Mine's gonna go full blue again in a bit. Yeah. So here's the exploded diagram that we were looking at a little while ago. You got some rails here. You got a little front plate with the potentiometer on it. You got a little blue button. You got after you put the faceplate with the screen on, you put this little beautifully knurled silver button. I think it's made of plastic. It's got a little bit of axial skew.
That's metal. That's definitely metal.
Is it? Oh, I totally believe that. I think it was a little cooler when I first touched it, actually. I think maybe because the iron's been on a little bit in an adjacent position and the battery's been on, maybe it's like warmer. It feels like plastic now, but I totally agree. It was like metallic at the start. You can see it turns on again because I jostled it. Back to the diagram. Oh no, back to David doing his thing.
I mean, I'm just trying to get this back cap on, and so we're back together. There's screws to do, but before I get too excited, I'm just going to see if it turns on and stuff still. Or
Oh
yeah.
So
four more screws to put back into it, but clearly you saw it. I tore it all down, and now I'm just going to put a couple screws in it, and we'll be all back together.
I'm going to say one thing that I wasn't saying earlier, but I think I can say it without ruining a secret. Which is that those screws in there are Torx 10 screws, specifically because there's some regulation around how like things get certified. And again, this is deep in the stream, so I think it's okay to say at this point. Very few people are going to see it, but it has to do with regulations around batteries and either having to do with their certification or how they can be shipped. And apparently there's like a specific carve out that allows you to use Torx 10 screws, and then it like is a bit more flexible, and that's why those specific screws are in there.
I wondered what the other thing was the way that it was.
Yeah, all the things are the way that they are for reasons. It's just mind-boggling the amount of like, I keep saying this, but the amount of like thought and care that went into every piece of this kit.
I should have used them. I just put the Torx back in instead of the other.
Wait, what are you using?
I'm saying I just put the Torx back in instead of doing the other thing that is a possibility.
Oh yeah. The secret.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for y'all to find out the secret. Yeah. So again, I don't think that there is a repair guide up yet, but for all you folks, you can go on the FixHub page not the iFixit page for the portable power station, and you can go check out the documents and this exploded schematic that is down here. It will open in a new window, but then you can like drag it into your browser and like find. If you just try and like open the image in a new tab, it'll be the small version, but you can get this guy and it tells you all about it. There's also the electrical schematics here. Let's take a look at that. Yep, that's a schematic. Could be cool if you're like, I don't know, have a burning desire to, like maybe you broke some part of it and you don't want to repair it, you want to use it in something else, you could like learn some things there. What else we got? Model number, etc.
I'm one screw away from completion.
Ooh. You can see all that stuff. Of course, assembly, as we found, does not cover like assembly and disassembly of the unit.
Mm-hmm.
One more quick look at just the whole thing. It's so nice. I'm going to turn it off so you can, again, turn it off here. And then you can also turn the device off, which is presumably you just hold this down for a bit. Yep, there we go, shutting down.
Can you show me the bottom of the stand goes real quick? Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got my hand like right on here. This cap is warm. I don't know if I would want to have it in my pocket like Brett was doing in the video. But you know, I can touch it with my bare hand and like hold it on there. Like that's fine. It's hot, but not like hotter than a battery or a charger would get. It's not like dangerous. I will say like a well-made battery or charger. Once again, we've got these product pages, the main page and the description, you can find this. There's also an official announcement blog post you can check out. Going all in on soldering. I'll read a couple of quotations from Kyle that they mentioned a couple of extra things around the philosophy and stuff. But you've got these temperature rings that show the heat status with colors. Designed for easy servicing, very cool. And the soldering toolkit, actually, yeah. So I forget what's on the far. Oh yeah, this is a pair of safety glasses on the left. Then you've got a spudger, which is their all-purpose poking, prying, etc. tool that's like made of like carbon fiber reinforced nylon, I think. Some nice sharp angled tweezers. You've got the iFixit branded solder wick. These are empty spots in the portable toolkit. That's where you can put extra soldering iron tips. So if you buy extras or get different shapes that will be available on October 15th as well, you can stick those in those slots on the portable toolkit. Then you've got that little, what do they call it? I always forget, but the little third hand replacement. This is the little brass coil, a tiny brass coil that fits in your kit. These are flaps that come down to cover these parts so your pieces don't slide out. Even these little straps on here are designed so that you can easily pull them out one-handed. You don't have to like wrestle with the kit because they've got offset straps here. Also, both of these tools, the clippers and the wire strippers, have a one-handed safety / lock and release mechanism. You can do it with your little thumb. If you put the lock on and then you squeeze the clippers together, it will release one-handed. No fuss, no muss. Here you've got your flux, your cable here. This is a pocket with that self-adhesive silicone tape. You can cut off a piece by just like clipping a notch in it with the clippers, and then tearing it by hand, and it comes off really clean. Or you can cut it, or you can just use a whole piece. It's basically a bunch of little strips of this self-adhesive silicone tape. You pull it apart and stretch it to sort of activate it, then wrap it around whatever, and it's kind of like a really adaptable heat shrink. You don't need any heat. You just wrap it around whatever, and it like sticks to itself and nothing else, and it's really heat insulating and gorgeous. Then you got your solder. You got oh, this is one of those pens where you can put like flux or whatever in there. This is your soldering iron. This is the base battery station, and here is where a little silicone heat-resistant mat goes that solder will not stick to and will protect your table surface. Really good for
How much is
what?
that set? How much is that kit?
So it's $50 on top of the
That seems
main.
like crazy value.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like the mind boggles, honestly. Like I'm boggling. Like this guy is $80. This is $250. This is $299. Like
That is a lot for $50.
it's a lot. And those sputters are consumable. You can order those by the pack. All this stuff is mostly stuff you can buy elsewhere on the site, and just they're really nice clippers too. And like all it's just all really really nice. And yeah, the value is ridiculous. I see you holding up your kit
Yeah.
there.
I
All
got
back together.
It's all working. The screen's working. The iron is working. Everything's working. So
Gorgeous.
I didn't even need an iFixit guide.
Oh yeah, Make Your Block says I flinched when you touched the side when I was touching the side of the iron. Yeah. It's totally touchable. Like there's no part of the soldering iron that was exposed that like put me in any danger of like cooking myself. You know, there were no bad smells. It was fine.
First of all, hey, Microblock. Second of all,
Yeah, hey.
reminded me of a promo that I didn't think to do, which is Make a Fair Bay Area is coming up in just over a month in October. We should mention that.
Vallejo.
Yeah.
Very excited. I will absolutely be there. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So it's the same place as last year, right? At Mare Island.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I like that it's a very like open space. So bring your warm stuff because it can get chilly in the evenings. But like so much cool stuff to see, and there are these big like open kind of bay buildings. Really cool stuff there.
It was it was a submarine assembly yard. So it's everything is on this gigantic scale. Like there's like a crane, but it's a gigantic crane because that's what you need for lifting submarines into the water and out of the water, I guess. So yeah, it's like the perfect place.
Yeah, there's a ton of cool people with cool projects, and also the environment is just super rad. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, everybody come to that. I guess I should plug Hackster's upcoming Impact Spotlights we've just announced. We've got these monthly spotlights that are going to be happening. You may be familiar with our Impact Summit from previous years, focusing on tech for good, sustainability, all that good stuff. Now we are shifting to focus. We've had a lot of guests, really cool people in the past. This year we're now focusing on community members. So if you have a Hackster account and you publish tutorials, you're eligible to be featured in one of our Impact Spotlights, and we'll be sharing more links about how you can apply for future ones, just like submit a proposal, and you'll get like a 10-minute slot in our group event where people will get 10-minute slots to talk about their projects, and we'll see a cool like webinar announcement for whatever sponsor. The next one coming up is Nordic sponsored, and it is based around smart ag. So come join us. I think it's September 26th in like the morning Pacific time. But I'll drop the link in the description as well. Very cool. We'll have some cool people, and be sure to submit proposals for future months. You just got to have a Hackster project. I was gonna, I think I already covered most of the stuff. I'm just gonna show our links again real quick. So you've got your article on Make. David wrote this. Go check that out. With a cool story about what you're doing with it. Love it. We've got our shorts. So these are from the pre-launch event on last Sunday. I got some cool footage with that thing I was talking about where he's like got the cap in his pocket. That's denim. I'm sure that's fine. But yeah, you can like separate the cap from the base unit and like toss it onto a table, and it'll be fine. Go follow us on Instagram to see those as well. There's this really cool article that David mentioned where they dive into the serial interface, which is not an advertised feature. This is the charger I was talking about that they had at the event, but they've also got the iFixit dedicated charger. Very cool. This is the Porta Pack that was mentioned. We've got shout out to All Hands Active again. Fix-It clinics and repair cafes, absolutely. We got the 2025 Open Hardware Summit, as well as Open Hardware Month next month. The summit is next year in May, at the end of May in Edinburgh, Scotland. The call for proposals is open, and you'll soon be able to apply for the fellowship to get a discounted rate and a stipend and stuff. Also, check out the monthly open source hardware certifications articles from Sid on magazine.com. All right. I've said a lot of stuff. David, what do you got?
Can I just do one more
Please.
plug? Can you look up the Bloop Museum?
Bloop Museum?
Yeah. It is a retro gaming and computing museum. And they are trying to raise money right now to move to a new location. And I thought I would take this opportunity to give them a quick plug. I'm not sure what their name of their fundraising platform is, but I'm sure you can find it easily. Yeah,
Is
Give
it?
Butter. Yes.
Go give them some butter.
Yeah, so they're trying to raise $200,000 to move their museum into a permanent building. And so I would like to use my plug to highlight their efforts and see if we can generate some awareness for what they're doing. They have some really amazing stuff.
Are these Michigan based?
No, I believe that they're in, I want to say Maryland. I don't even know how to say that in American. How do you say that state?
Maryland.
That's
chill.
And trying to move to Philadelphia, I believe.
Mm.
But yeah, I was talking to my friend Brendan there today is what reminded me of it. And so I thought I'd give them a quick shout out and see if we can help them get some donations for their awesome stuff. That's all like hands-on. It's not like behind glass.
Yeah.
So you can actually play with the stuff, and they've got pretty much everything and then some. So
they got a repair weekend in January.
Exactly.
Love it. We've got one around here called the MADE. I think it stands for Museum of Art and Digital Entertainment, something like that. But they've got a giant archive of playable vintage retro like game systems and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've been there before.
No, I've just seen it. Is it in Oakland?
Yeah.
I've meant to go to that. Yeah.
Digital entertainment. If you think of anything else that you would like to throw out there before we wrap up, let me know. Any last questions? Now's the time to get them in. There we go. Okay, final link of the day. If you're in the Bay Area, come check them out. It's super cool. Oh, this looks like the place where they used to have. It's not the same place. I was thinking of Rudy's Can't Fail Cafe. But anyway, okay, cool. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a whole odyssey today, almost 2 hours playing around with this new
2-hour goal.
Yeah. But I'm excited to have gotten some headers onto my Flipper Zero thingamajigs after talking for most of the time. I'm excited to have seen you take your thing apart.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got the whole thing apart, both pieces, and back together, and that's pretty good.
Got to see the pretty PCBs inside.
Mm-hmm.
They did make them pretty. Just so nice. I got to share a bunch of little extra tidbits. Oh, that's what it was. I had a couple extra little comments from Kyle, but I think we pretty much covered it. And the only other thing I had written down was your comment about Edward solder hands. It's so good. So yeah, again, it's got 2 ports on the front. So if you want, you can have either a friend come solder with you, or you can, as David said, become Edward solder hands. And on that note, I feel like it's time to to peace out and go be silly. All right. Awesome hanging with you always, David. Lovely seeing everybody. Thanks for chiming in the chat. We're gonna be keeping doing these occasionally. Different technology. Last time it was the Pico 2. Next time, who knows? So stay tuned. Thanks again. We'll catch you later. Hack on.